Good morning, Mishpaka. Sorry about that. I was still muted for some reason. Um, I am your host, Brandon, much more censored, here with another hot off the press episode update of Much More Truth. And today we are live streaming on the Brandon Muchmore Facebook page, the original Brandon Muchmore Facebook page. Beacon Hill has found himself in Facebook jail for 30 days from Friday. And also on that same, I think it was on that same day, but when we did the Stews Brews latest update of Stews Brews commentary on or my commentary rather on Stu's latest brew, the Watch the Water documentary. Uh, it got taken down in less than about 16 hours or so after it got over 600 views. And that put the main channel of Much More Truth in a week long timeout. Um, and it also got taken down on this backup channel, Much More Truth 2. Um, and it only had like 80 views on that. And, but it was only a warning shot. So we're back at it. Gonna be doing it again. So, but let me just show you real quick where you can find the teachings, the teaching that got taken down. Um, I don't know why it's showing Rumble as monetized. As you guys know, I don't do this for money, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't changed anything. Before I was uploading stuff and it just said ads free. Now all of a sudden it's doing a monetized thing. I don't know. So I apologize if there are any ads. Hopefully they're not long. You can skip them. But right here, Stu's latest brew, uh, commentary on Watch the Water. There you go, 23 hours and 101 views so far. So you can check that out. It is up now on Rumble. Okay. So anyway, shalom to you guys as you come in. Looks like there's quite a big audience, which is awesome considering that we're on backup channels. So that's great. But this morning, what we're going to talk about is a press release that just happened this morning. I'm also going to read to you a prophetic dream that I just had, that I just woke up from this morning as well. Um, and I think I'm feeling led to just read you the dream first, and then you can hear it, and then you'll see what boom popped up on my Telegram this morning from Disclosed TV. So, and then I obviously confirmed it myself. So let's just go that route. But it's just, obviously, that this channel, this ministry, we've held the belief that this. Let's see, what code word do I want to use today? Yeah, I don't know. Stinger. We'll go Stinger. I don't know. I don't know what they haven't caught up to, caught on to rather. But anyway, we have held the belief and smack scene, right? We've held the belief, we've been warning people for 2 solid years now that this is indeed the mark of the beast. This is not a precursor. You don't get second chances, et cetera, when it comes to this. I've been telling people don't even get tested, et cetera, just all bad news, right? So let me read to you this dream, but it's going to be more and more obvious to those who were still doubting. Hopefully, they'll awaken um, to the truth of what's really happening and what has been happening. So I titled this, They Won't Even Bother. This is a dream from 4/18/2022. I woke up from it at exactly 3:33 a.m., which we'll get to in a moment. So you can see here, you got the get your free mark of the beast here. And then here's another, just showing like how surveys usually work. Okay, so this is just part of the visual for the dream itself. All right. So let me actually, I'm going to remove myself entirely. Give me a second here. All right. So it says they won't even bother. I just woke up from a dream where I was riding around my old hometown's college campus on my bike with my wife, Stephanie, on hers, and CV Shaft 19 was everywhere, all around us. We would pass by numerous CV Shaft 19 testing, survey, and stations and sticker stations where the college kids were lined up single file in droves, all stopping by and getting information to schedule for their sticker. Side note, the people were college kids, but not today's college kids. They were actually people that some of I knew and had grown up with in high school, but they were younger looking as if they were back in college. As we were right around campus and past each station, the people would be trying to flag people down to get them, quote unquote, registered. But whenever we would ride by, they wouldn't even bother asking. Whenever we would ride by, they wouldn't even bother asking. We rode by this one table along the sidewalk, and one volunteer started to ask or petition us. And the guy that was working with her said, "Oh, don't even bother. He'll never get stickered." I smiled overhearing him and said, "How did you know?" And he said, "Oh, just the look about you, kind of like my aura. I could just tell." By this time, we were passing him, so I turned back and shouted with a smile, "Say hello to Satan for me," chuckling and pedaling away. Everywhere we rode around campus, they would be petitioning and asking everyone else if they had their CV Shaft 19 sticker yet. But whenever we would ride by, they would never bother asking us because they could see the light in us. And then I woke up. Now, as I was writing or transcribing this dream, I was led to two different sets of verses. So Matthew, this is the title of the section of scripture, "Have no fear." Therefore, Matthew 10:26, "Therefore do not fear them, for whatever is covered shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be made known. What I say to you in the dark, speak in the light, and what you hear in the ear, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the being, the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both being and body in Gehenna, or hell. Are not two sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground without your Father? And even the hairs on your head are all numbered. So do not fear, you are worth more than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who shall confess me before men, him I shall also confess before my Father who is in the heavens. But whoever shall deny me before men, him I shall also deny before my Father who is in the heavens." Then the other verse I thought about was this: salt and light. Matthew 5:13, "You are the salt of the earth. But if salt becomes tasteless, how shall it be seasoned? For it is no longer of any use, but to be thrown out and trodden down by men. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill, it is impossible for a city to be hidden on a mountain, or a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it shines to all in the house. Let your light so shine before men, so that they see your good works and praise your Father who is in the heavens. And here's the immediate interpretation that I received. Go about your everyday life as if there is no thing taking place all around us. Do not stop. Do not engage with those who are not on the same path as us. Do not fear them, for they fear you because of the one inside of you. I could add here 1 John 4:4, where it says, "The greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world." It says, "You are of Elohim, little children, have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world." Just keep pedaling to your final destination. Let the lemmings continue to fall by the wayside. Let them keep getting tested. Let them and taking the mark of the beast. Let us continue to occupy until he comes and continue to do great exploits for the kingdom. Daniel 11:32 says this: "Those who do wickedly against the covenant, he shall corrupt with flattery. But the people who know their Elohim shall be strong and carry out great exploits." And the occupy till I come. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, "Occupy until I come." Now, regarding the word aura, because aura, immediately people start thinking New Age, mysticism, things like that. Just want to assure you, no, I'm not talking about it in that way. And before it was perverted, let's think about that. Okay. Before it was twisted. Don't freak out because I use the word aura. But let's examine its definition. A distinctive atmosphere surrounding a given source. An energy field that is held to emanate from a living being. A luminous radiation. In short, those who do not have the light can see and recognize the light within us. Okay? So they can see our countenance is changed. Our countenance is different. There's something different about us. They know. That's why when we would ride by, they wouldn't even bother with asking us or petitioning us, because they already knew the answer. So let's keep going. And also, if you break down the word Torah, I didn't do it in this, but you could. Torah, is instruction, it's law, but it's also light, right? So thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So yeah. Anyway, so let's look at the time I woke up, because I felt that was pretty significant as well. So Strong's G333 is anatherio from G303 and 2334. To look again, that is attentively, or literally or figuratively, to behold, consider. So behold, consider all those around you that are getting tested, taking treatments and the stinger and or the mark of the beast, whatever you want to call it. And we're just observing it. We're just beholding it, right? We're just seeing it take place. And then from the G2334, from Theroa, I'm probably not saying that right, but I'm trying. From a derivative of 2300, perhaps an adverb of 3708, to be a spectator of. That is to discern, literally, figuratively, experience, or intensively acknowledge, behold, consider, look on, perceive. So this is literally what happened in my dream, right? Now let's look real quick at what just took place in, where'd I go? Hang on. There we go. Sorry. Now let's look at what they just released this morning regarding their new plan. So this is hot off the press. Okay, you can go to the whitehouse.gov, search for it, it's right there. Okay? We're seeing Bible prophecy taking place right here. Okay? Okay? So, joint statement between the United States, Belize, Germany, Indonesia, Senegal, on the announcement of the second global summit, Stinger Summit. The United States, as first CV Shaft Summit chair, Belize as CARICOM chair, Germany holding the G7 presidency, Indonesia holding the G20 presidency, and Senegal as African Union chair, are pleased to announce that we will co-host the second global CB Shaft 19 summit, which will be held virtually on May 12th, 2022. This was this morning that this was released. Okay. I first heard about it on Disclosed TV's Telegram. The summit will redouble our collective efforts to end the acute phase of the CV Shaft 19 pandemic and to prepare for future health threats. The summit follows the first global CV Shaft 19 summit convened by the United States on September 22nd, 2021. Interesting. That took place on the Feast of Trumpets. In advance of the May 12th summit, we are calling on world leaders, members of civil society, non-governmental organizations, philanthropists, and the private sector to make new commitments and bring solutions to mark the whole world and save lives now and build better health security for everyone and everywhere. The emergence and spread of new variants like Omicron have reinforced the need for a strategy aimed at controlling CB Shaft 19 worldwide together. There's that together. Well, let's remind us, what are they all about? We're all in this together. One summit, kind of like Genesis 11:6. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. Get the mark of the beast. Oh, and Disney's got a great one. Look at this. Wait, we're all in this together. And remember, I've told you many times, and I'm sure others have as well, but we're all in this together, or just together, is to get her, the bride. That's who the dragon is after in Revelation 12. We can mitigate the impact of CB Shaft 19 and protect those at the highest risk with stingers, testing, and treatments to actions to minimize disruption to routine health services and through the support for the ACT Accelerator Multilateral Mechanism. We know we must prepare now to build, sustain, like as in sustainable development, and finance the global capacity we need not only for emerging CV Shaft 19 variants, but also future health crises. To help achieve these goals, we urge all countries and stakeholders to pledge to take urgent actions to create the systems we need to end the acute phase of CV Shaft 19, save lives, and build better health security and health systems. The summit will be held on the themes and commitments made at the first summit will place an emphasis on supporting locally led solutions to both immediate and long-term challenges, including getting marks into arms or hands, deploying tests and treatments as in those monoclonal antibody treatments that Dr. Artis was talking about on the Stu the Brew Peters show, and many others have spoken about. Expanding and protecting the health workforce and minimizing disruptions to routine essential health services, enhancing access to medical countermeasures, including research and development, scaling and diversifying local and regional manufacturing, and generating sustainable, there's that sustainable word, financing for pandemic preparedness, health security, and health systems. We look forward to another successful summit to continue the international effort in the fight against CV Shaft 19 and to advance the global pandemic preparedness. Everyone, everywhere, the beast is coming. The beast is coming. Just like it says. The second beast of Revelation is who causes all to take the mark of the beast, or the mark of the first beast in Revelation 13. And I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. He had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great signs, so that it even makes fire come down from the heaven on the earth before men. And he leads astray those dwelling on the earth because of those signs which he was given to do before the beast, saying to those who dwell on the earth, make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. And there was given to him to give spirit or breath, pneuma in the Greek, to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause to be killed as many as would not worship the image of the beast. Verse 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark upon their right hand or arm in the Hebrew, or upon their foreheads, like shoving a long straw way up there with nano gel and the hydrogel and the graphene oxide and ethylene oxide and everything like that on it. That no one should be able to buy or sell except he that has the mark, or the name of the beast, which is the mark, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. He who has understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, because we're 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. That's man, carbon. So we're seeing this dreadful beast that the prophet Daniel talks about. Says in the first, Daniel 7, says in the first year of Belteshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head while on his bed. Then he wrote down the dream, telling the main facts. Daniel spoke, saying, I saw in my vision by night, behold, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea. The four winds of heaven. Now, when I read this morning again, I was actually reading it in a Septuagint, and that's where it caught my eye. Is it says, "I Daniel beheld, and lo, the four winds of heaven blew violently upon the great sea." Well, then it made me think of this right here, because what happens? It says, Revelation 7, verse 1, "And after these things I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth or the sea or on any tree. Then I saw another angel ascending from the east, and having the seal of the living Elohim. He cried out with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was granted to harm the earth and the sea, saying, do not harm the earth, the sea, or the trees until we have sealed the servants of our Elohim on their foreheads, the 144,000, as they've been come to know." But isn't it interesting that the same four winds are mentioned? You have four winds of the earth, that they should not blow on the earth, on the sea, or on any tree. And then you have Daniel 7, verse 2, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, each different from the other. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I watched as its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And suddenly another beast, a second like a bear, it was raised up on one side and had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And they said thus to it, arise, devour much flesh. After this I looked, and there was another, a leopard, which had on its back 4 wings of a bird. And the beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, exceedingly strong. It had huge iron teeth, and it was devouring, breaking in pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet. It was different from all the other beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. 10 horns. And I was considering the horns, and there was another horn, a little one, coming up from among them, before whom 3 of the first horns were plucked out by the roots. And there in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking blasphemous or pompous words, or great words. I watched till the thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. And his throne was a fiery flame, its wheels a burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him, and 1,000 thousands ministered to him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. I watched then because of the sound of the pompous words which the horn was speaking. I watched till the beast was slain, and its body destroyed and given to the burning flame. And as for the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I was watching in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, coming in the clouds of heaven. And he came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Then to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, hallelujah, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom the one which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit within my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near to one of those who stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made known to me the interpretation of these things. Those great beasts which are four kings, which will arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I wished to know about the fourth beast, which was different from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, with his teeth of iron and nails of bronze, which devoured, broke in pieces, and trampled the residue with its feet. And the 10 horns which were on its head, and the other horn, which came up from before which 3 fell, namely that horn, or trump, which had eyes and a mouth which spoke pompous or great words, whose appearance was greater than his fellows. I was watching it, and that same horn was making war against the saints and prevailing against them, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was made in favor of the saints of the Most High. And the time came for the saints of the Most High to possess the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all other kingdoms, and devour the whole earth, trample it, and break it into pieces. The 10 horns are 10 kings who shall arise from this kingdom, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be different from the first ones, and shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words or pompous words against the Most High, and shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change times and law. Then the saints of the Most High shall be given in his hand for a time, times, and half a time, or 3.5 years, or 42 months, or 1260 days. That's what that equates to. But the court shall be seated, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it forever. Then the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of the Most High. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. This is the end of the account. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts greatly troubled me. My countenance changed, but I kept the matter in my heart. Now, these same 10 kings are the same ones mentioned in Psalm 2 as the kings of the earth. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel to get her together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens shall laugh, and Yahweh shall hold them in derision. He shall speak to them in his wrath, and shall distress them in his deep displeasure. Yet I have set my king on my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. Yahweh has said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will give you the nations for your inheritance, and the ends of the earth for your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. Now, therefore, be wise, O kings. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are those who put their trust in him. Those are the kings of the earth. This is the vain thing that they've plotted. They want to take out the seed of Abraham. They want to take out the meek of the earth, the elect, so that they can inherit the earth, so that Yahusha won't come back. Or that's the laughable thing that they think that they can accomplish. They want the Genesis 11:6 moment. They want the Tower of Babel. They want to all be in one mindset as a hive mind. Revelation 17 shows us this. we look right here. Actually, let's jump to Revelation 13 so you can see the beast as well. Okay. So the first beast, Revelation 13. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads, like G7, 10 horns, like the UN's plot of the 10 kingdoms that they have laid out, the 10 plots of lands, and on his horn, 10 crowns, and on his heads, a blasphemous name, or a pompous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. Oops. Yeah, we'll do it that way. And his feet were like the feet of a bear. His mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, his throne, and his great authority. So you can see that if you were to write out, which I've done this before, I'm sorry I don't have the notes right next to me. It's somewhere in my pile of notebooks. But if you go and write out the seventh or the beasts of Daniel, chapter 7, the lion, the bear, the leopard, and the terrible beast, and then you write out the description of the beast of Revelation 13, you'll see all the correlations, because the terrible beast, and which represents the first beast of Revelation, has the mouth of a lion, which is the first beast of Daniel 7, has the feet of a bear, which is the second beast of Daniel 7, has it was like a leopard, meaning like it moved fast, moved swiftly like a leopard. That's the third beast of Daniel 7. And then the dragon gave him his power and his authority and his throne. Right? So now you can see the 7 heads, 10 horns. I want you to see this theme. So now if we go to Revelation 17 real quick, it says, then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and talked with me, saying, come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth, the same kings of the earth of Psalm 2, the same kings of the earth, which are the 10 horns, committed fornication. And the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman on a scarlet beast, which was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. There's your 7 heads and 10 horns. It's the same beast. And the harlot rides the beast. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, and having in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. And on her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahusha. And when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. But the angel, the messenger, said to me, why did you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that you saw was and is not will ascend out of the bottomless pit, Revelation 9, and go into perdition. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is. This is a reference to Revelation 13:8 right here. And it says here, and it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, which is exactly what Daniel 7 says as well. And authority was given to him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who goes into captivity shall go into captivity. He who leads into captivity, rather, shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must also be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. Now we go back. I just wanted you to see that. So Yahusha, he's the one who was, who is, and who is to come. But the beast is the one that was and is not and yet is. You see the correlation there? The differences there? So the beast that you saw was and is not and will ascend out of the bottomless pit, Revelation 9:11, and go into perdition. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, wonder, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundational world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is, when he has his second coming, whoever that may be, right? Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Now, this is very multifaceted because, yes, Rome sits on 7 mountains. But did you know that DC also sits on 7 mountains? Did you know that DC used to be called Rome? Did you know that the revived Roman Empire is in the United States of America? People say that we're not in Bible prophecy, that we have nothing to do with it. I beg to differ. The beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th, and is of the 7, and is going into perdition. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. Hive mind. Genesis 11:6. We're all in this to get her. We're all in this together. These will make war with the Lamb. Bad idea. And the Lamb will overcome them, for he is the Master of masters and King of kings. And those who are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Then he said to me, the waters which you saw, where the harlot sits, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot and make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So what's fixing to happen is America, the harlot, Mystery Babylon, is fixing to get turned on by these 10 horns and by the beast, sold out by the beast, and they're going to make her desolate, naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. She's going to be completely consumed and left desolate. Revelation 17:18 declares it. Jeremiah 50:51 declares it. Isaiah 47 declares it. Isaiah 13 declares it. So many different places declare it. For Yahweh has put it into their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind, and to give their kingdom to the beast, until the words of Yahweh are fulfilled. And the woman you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. So the woman is a great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. Where is the New World Tower, or whatever it's called, the New World Trade Center, or One World Trade Center, rather? Sorry, I couldn't think of it for a second. Where is it? Then no other place than New York. New York even has a suburb called Babylon, the harlot that sits on many waters. The fall of Babylon, Revelation 18:1. Then after I saw these things, I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has come become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth, those same kings, have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. Everybody does business with America. Everybody. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues, for her sins have reached to heaven. Yahweh has remembered her iniquities, her lawlessness. Render to her just as she rendered to you, and repay her double according to her works in the cup which she has mixed for her double. In the measure that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, in the same measure give her torment and sorrow. For as she says in her heart, I sit as a queen. I am no widow, and will not see sorrow. Therefore her plague will come in one day: death, mourning, famine, and she will be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh Elohim who judges her. The kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived luxuriously with her will weep and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning, standing at a distance of her for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour your judgment has come. The merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, for no one buys their merchandise anymore. Merchandise of gold, silver, and precious stones, and pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every kind of object of ivory, object of most precious wood, bronze, iron, and marble, the cinnamon and incense and fragrant oil and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and cattle and sheep, horses and chariots, and bodies of the souls of men. I got to stop here for a moment. So Babylon buys and sells the bodies and souls of men, trades them. Ezekiel 28 says that Lucifer is the trader of souls, or the trafficker of souls, on the New York Stock Exchange through our SSN, through our birth certificates, which are tied to dollars, fake dollars, fiat currency. The fruit that your soul longed for has gone from you, and all these things which are rich and splendid have gone from you. You shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things who became rich by her will stand at a distance for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold, most precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour such great riches came to nothing. Every shipmaster, all who travel by ships, sailors, as many as trade on the sea, stood at a distance and cried out when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What is like this great city? They threw dust on her heads and cried out, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, in which all ships who on the sea became rich by her wealth, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh has avenged you upon her. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence the great city Babylon shall be overthrown and shall not be found anymore. The sound of harpists, musicians, and flautists, trumpeters shall not be heard in you anymore. No craftsman of any craft shall be found in you anymore at all, and the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you anymore at all. The light of a lamp shall not shine in you anymore at all. The voice of the bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you anymore at all, for your merchants were the great men or the great ones of the earth. For by your pharmakia, sorcery, all the nations were deceived or led astray. And in her was found the blood of prophets and saints of all who were slain on the earth. And it's all coming to pass, just as it was wrote down for John. It was roughly 2,000 years ago. For Daniel, it was, what, 2,500 years ago, 2,700 years ago, something like that. But they're going to have another summit, the G7, the 7 heads of the beast. Be held virtually on May 12th, 2022. And what are the odds? I mean, seriously, what are the odds of that I would have this dream last night, wake up from it right at 3:33? It says to look again, behold, consider. And look, this is, wow, I just got this. But look what look what Daniel's talking about. I mean, Daniel actually says, I think it's in the KJV. It says, and behold, another beast. I beheld, I saw, I considered. I mean, what are the odds that this would happen? Seriously. But their plan is to get with, we're calling on all world leaders, members of civil society, non-governmental organizations, philanthropists, like Bill Gates, and the private sector, the merchants of Babylon, to make new commitments to bring solutions to what? Mark the entire world. Mark the world. Sting the whole world. If we're not seeing this second beast doing what Revelation 13 says it would do, what exactly are we seeing? How more obvious does it have to get? Does it have to get where we literally can't go into a store without proof of it? It's coming. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, that no one may buy or sell except one that has the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of his name. What are we seeing if we're not seeing this come to pass? And it's interesting that they mention treatments. Protect those at high risk with stingers, testing, treatments, the antibody monococcal treatments. Like, I'm going to try and name all of them. I haven't done this in a little while, so I'm a little rusty. But, I've been telling people to obviously stay away from all testing. There's now a new breathalyzer test that you can do. Hard pass on all of it. I don't want any part of it. But all the treatments, the Eli Lilly infusion treatments, Regeneron, Remdesivir, which is a treatment that they give you for it once you're in the hospital, and then even the ivermectin and the hydroxychloroquine. I've been telling people to stay away from all of it. Y'all can do whatever you want to do, but I'm just telling you what I was shown in the beginning. I mean, it's all pharmakia, but it's very clear that this is their goal right here. One summit. Genesis 11:6. That's their goal. I'll just read it to you real quick. It says, now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found the plain in the land of Shinar. They dwelt there, and then they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." And they had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower's top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." But Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men built. And Yahweh said, "Indeed, the people are one, and they have one language. And this is what they begin to do, now that nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." So Yahweh scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth. They ceased building the city. Therefore, its name is called Babel, because there Yahweh confused the language of the earth. And from there, Yahweh scattered them all abroad over the face of all the earth. That's what it's all about. Revelation 17 and 18, Daniel 7, Psalm 2. It's all about the hive mindset, plugged into the beast and the beast system, being a part of the beast, committing fornication with Mystery Babylon. That's what it's all about. And it's coming to pass. We're seeing it right now. Wow, 157 comments. Y'all been busy. My goodness. Yeah. Yeah, y'all been busy. But yeah. So anyway, hot off the press. Dream was hot off the prophetic press. Dream has G 333 in it. I woke up at 3:33 in the morning. To look again, that is intently, literally or figuratively, behold, consider. And I mean, how many times do you see that phrase, within the visions that Daniel has? So yeah, pretty Pretty amazing stuff, y'all. Really is. What a time to be alive. But just remember, like I stated in a dream, just ignore the storm, ignore the chaos that's going on all around us, and focus on just keep pedaling, just keep finishing, finishing the race, getting to your final destination, which is the New Jerusalem. But don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of them that can only harm your body but not your soul, because they are afraid of you. Like I said, if you are walking in covenant, if you're abiding uh, in the vine that is our Messiah, Yahusha, um, they see it, and they're like, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to ask him, So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I got to go get some breakfast and get to work on some stuff, but I just wanted to come on here and relay that information, especially when I saw that press release come out and I was sitting here at my desk like a little over an hour ago. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Or no, I guess it was like closer to like 8 a.m. or something like that when it came out. But anyway, it's all it's all happening. It's all taking place. 7 heads, 10 horns, kings of the earth, giving their power over to the beast. And they're about to burn the harlot with lots of fire. And most likely it's going to be Russia and China, possibly Iran, that are involved with it as well. So, all right. Well, like I said, this is the backup channel. So, please hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button on this channel. Hit the notification bell. And we'll be back on the main channel. I think it's like Friday when that timeout is lifted. So Yahweh willing, we'll be back on the main channel on Friday on Much More Truth. But definitely stay subscribed to this one as well. I think I talked in code enough, but we'll see. If you don't see me for a few days, you'll know why. But it is available on my Facebook. Facebook, as of yet, has not taken down any videos, except for the one that I did on Operation Warp Speed, because I actually showed CBS's broadcast of Operation Warp Speed when it was getting ready to roll out, and they deemed that copyright infringement. So they took it down. But other than that, like even the Stu's Latest Brew and everything like that, that's still up on the Beacon Hill Facebook page, even though it's in jail. My Telegram is I'll post it. Wait, what is it? Hang on. Where is Telegram? There it is. Sorry. So I have Mishpachah of Melchizedek. Mishpachah of Melchizedek. That's what I have on Telegram. That's the group that I have on Telegram. So, which I posted a link to this live stream there. All right. So, yeah, especially when I'm in Facebook jail, I use it. Often I share a few thoughts there. I usually share blog posts there. And then I share things about the stinger that I can no longer share on Facebook, on Telegram. But yeah, so all right, guys and gals. Well, thank you for joining me this morning. I pray that you have a blessed day. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you, lift up his countenance towards you, and give you peace. That peace that surpasses all understanding, that guards our hearts and minds. In Yahushua HaMashiach's name. Amen and amen.